Today's affirmation is I have support. You have people in your life who are willing to support you. This oracle reading really popped out a few extra cards, which I'm kind of excited to read because that's not really often what happens, but this looks like a really positive reading from each card that's popped out. So the original message here is I have support. That's your affirmation. The first card that popped out is we have joy. And this tells me that it's important to remember to express joy in your life. I know that that's, a basic point of advice, but I think that what it is it's a reminder that as things are kind of in this really we don't know what's going to happen, time period. It's really hard to set realistic goals and reasonable goals whenever we just don't know what's going to happen. A lot of people are trying to continue on as if things are normal, and it might be their way of coping, or it might be their form of resistance, whatever it is that they're doing. But what Spirit wants you to remember right now is to seek joy. Don't let yourself go internally and start being afraid and things like that. Just seek joy in your life. I have dreamer here too. So don't be afraid to have dreams and goals and aspirations. We've been here before historically, with everything that's going on. We've been here before multiple times, and humanity has continued to survive. That's not to say that will last forever, but that is to say that it's okay to continue to have dreams. Whenever people were living in conditions worse than what we're experiencing now, they did continue to dream, and they still continue to have goals and things. And I think that that's important in the face of things that are scary, is to continue to have hope for the future. We can't ever, the future is never guaranteed, but we shouldn't live as if it won't happen. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm really getting here. I also have wildness. So I think a lot of you guys need to embrace your wild side for sure, especially with this storm that we are dealing with here. I think that it's important for you to embrace being silly, embrace being a bit wild, and not being afraid. I'm also really getting that too. Don't live in fear, and just let that more animalistic side out if you need to. You know what I mean? We're dealing with barbaric individuals who think very base level, scary things that are harmful to other people. So in retaliation to that, if you were to act a bit wild and crazy towards that person in return, I have no issues with it personally. I think that that's kind of where we're heading. We're getting into this perspective of you can't fight logic with brute force. You know what I mean? And so that's where we're kind of getting into this aspect. And I think that continuing in the way of looking for joy and looking for our aspirations, let's remember that we do have a supportive network to get us through these storms. I have balance here. So it's also, I think this card is really helpful for what I'm trying to draw connections to. I think that the balance is the most important part when it comes to your dreams and joy, and then also being realistic about what it is that we have going on. I guess that's kind of what I've been talking about anyways, right? I've been talking about how sometimes it feels like basic advice to be told well, do things that bring you joy, but it's what a lot of us are looking for. And you want the support to be able to embrace that basic part of yourself is really what I'm getting here. And so you need to find a balance. I think we all do. We all need to find a balance of where our desire to keep things going and to keep society in some sort of reasonable fashion with the barbaric caveman issues that we're dealing with at the same time, archaic ideals. So I think it's good to find the balance between those two things. And I think that, some people hate happiness and joy. Sometimes I think that most people would want to be happy, but whenever I think about the fact that if you're not from the US, you might not be familiar with the show, or if you're a younger person, even though I think they're bringing him back. But the show Barney, he would sing on the show, I love you, you love me, we're one big happy family. People hated that. And people harassed the show so much and for so long that they had to stop doing it. So I remind myself that people like that exist. There are people who hated the fact that children were being told that they deserve to be loved. So people like that just exist. And that's the storm we're kind of talking about here. And that's sometimes what we kind of have to combat. And so some of these extra cards here that I have is Earth Mother. And I think that Earth Mother is a reminder of nature and our instincts. And I think that it is a bit more instinctual desire for us to have a community, to feel as if we're supported by people, to want to express joy. You know, people who don't want joy and love and different things in their lives usually came from being forced to believe in those things, right? I think sometimes maybe people are just born bad. I don't know. But I would say for the most part that a lot of these like monster people in life are created. And so in order to combat that, we have to remember that at our base instinct, most people want to feel loved and accepted because that would lead to the survival of humanity. We can't survive one, like just alone. And individually, we can't survive. We have to build a community together. I think there are some people who would love to destroy communities because they think that they could survive on their own without realizing the importance of the place that everybody, how much support betters everyone, if that makes sense. And then I have held here. And I think this is a reminder that many people have not experienced what it feels like to be held by the people in their life, to receive that type of support, but you have. And so you're at a perspective of being a bit more experienced in what a community is and what having support feels like and how you can implement that into the different parts of your life and bring joy and, you know, have some sort of meaning to life based on these relationships that you've had. You know what it feels like to be held by someone. And it definitely satisfies those basic instincts and desires we have as humans to connect with one another. And so that is my reading for you. Don't forget that you have support and that it's okay to not give up on your dreams and it's okay to not continue to seek joy in your life. All right, if you liked my video, please like, comment, follow, whatever. You can also buy me a cup of coffee. I'm going to start doing personal readings soon. I used to do them, but life happened, right? And so I kind of retired my practice for a little bit, but now I'm back into it. So just keep an eye out for that, and I hope you have a good day. I'll see you next time.